This isn't just Friday night under the lights. It's every early morning, every rep, every ounce of sweat that built this team. We don't play for stats. We don't play for hype. We play for the man beside us, for the name on our chest, for the tradition we carry every time we step on this field. Behind us, a school, a city, a family. In front of us, 100 yards of purpose. Tonight, we don't just show up. We take over. No fear, no doubt, just fire in our hearts and purple in our blood. We are Calvary, and this is our time.
Welcome into round 3 edition of the Calvary Coaches Show. Calvary Football is on to the state quarterfinals after a 56-17 throttling of Kings Ridge last Friday at the Specialty Sports Complex. Welcome into the Calvary Coaches Show with the head football coach of the Cavaliers, Jason Cameron. I am Jeffrey Roberts. Coach, a big win to start the postseason after a 21-day hiatus. When you finally strapped it up in that first kickoff win, did it feel like it had been 21 days?
Yes, every bit of it. We were super excited to be out there again. Really, really good atmosphere to, playoff time. And, I was really excited about just finally getting back out on the field. You could only, hit on each other so often before it starts getting a little bit redundant. But our kids handled it well. And I think, we didn't really have much rust, which was pretty impressive because, I told you when we were, previewing Kings Ridge, that's a tough one to come out after a 21-day period. You know what I'm saying? Triple option, tough to stop. And they showed that on their first drive until we adjusted. But that had nothing to do with rust. Our kids really came with a great approach. I think it's the cliche of coaches, when you practice a certain way, you play a certain way. We practiced well for 21 days, and then we showed it Friday.
Sometimes you can prep for 21 days, but when you get punched in the mouth, you still need to take a second. 80 of the 100 Tigers rushing yards came on that first possession, and you shut it down from there. The way the defense adjusted, what does that say about the coaching staff and your players' maturity?
Our program's built on trust. That's what we talk about. Love, trust, servant leadership. That's what we're going to talk about, right? And so we just have to trust that, okay, hey, they schemed for us a little bit, had a little wrinkle that we didn't prepare for. Let's get to the TV, let's adjust it, and let's execute it. And that's exactly what we did. Our coaching staff defensively is phenomenal. Our defense is very well run, and they trusted it. They trusted the coaches, and they went out there and they executed.
Who on that defensive side really shined on Friday?
So it's funny. I think statistically, probably one of his worst games. We said it. I'm going to look at you and say, man, you played a great game and you didn't record a tackle, or you had 2 tackles. Jay Varner was probably as unselfish as they came. He played the nose. He got double teamed on every single play and tackled the dive. That's what he did. You know what I'm saying? If you look, before they scored, they had trouble because of Jay Varner just doing his job. And, like I said, once again, servant leadership. He's one of our seniors who was willing to take a back seat so other guys could, flourish, and he played a great game for us.
Varner had 4 total tackles, adding 2 TFLs to his already impressive TFL line this season. Sophomore Joshua Washington stepped up from the secondary and led the team with 6 total tackles. You said you were going to see some guys plug into places. Now, Joshua, he's been someone who has shined this year.
So you're gonna get Justin cracked on really bad right now. It's Joshua Washington's his brother. Oh, they're gonna kill him now. They are gonna kill him.
Listen, it's a lot of names, a lot of J's. Have you realized how many J's are part
But
of
it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great because he's gonna get it tomorrow in the locker room. It's gonna be hilarious.
Well, hey, a good showing from that secondary. It looked like the passing attack when Kings Ridge was trying.
Yeah.
They also couldn't do anything.
Yeah, we have to cover without pass interference. There was I thought 2 were, I thought 2 weren't. But we gotta just. I told our guys, trust your skill level. We got skilled guys back there. Sometimes when we get out of phase, we like to grab. I'm like, just trust your skill level. You know what I'm saying? We practice individual. They cover really good receivers in practice, which is our own. I said, just trust your skill level, trust what you're supposed to do, and we don't have to grab. Now, listen, you get cooked, grab the kid. But, at the end, we were in phase. There was no reason for us to reach out and grab or be over physical. Just trust your skill set.
Another really impressive defensive performance. 10 of Kings Ridge's 17 points came in the second half when you're throwing in second and third stringers. But on the other side, it's hard to beat a team that scores points. Yeah. Either 50-plus outing. First thoughts from the offensive side.
Just again, you look at it, you spread the ball around. It's really difficult. Like Marlon Knight scores 2 touchdowns on 2 catches. I don't know how many even like really targets he had just because they were trying to high-low him some. So what does that open up? Okay, now that opens up Jalen Hicks in the middle of the field. What does that now do? That kind of singles up Ty Pinkney on the outside. And of course, our run game, could speak for itself too. So it's just when you have unselfish guys and you're willing to spread the football around and just listen, the play's called. Whoever it goes to, it goes to. We run 4-man concepts, so everyone is involved in the pass scheme. Whoever it goes to, that's who gets it.
Another guy, JP, Jonathan Perry, he had 3 catches for over 50 yards. But James Mobley, the guy who was throwing it to them, about as efficient as it comes. 12 of 13 for 190 yards and 5 touchdowns. When he is playing well, Coach, this team can do what?
Always. We could do anything. He's going to lead us wherever we go. We actually talked about it in the coaches' office today, but Coach Chumley thinks, even this Friday will come down to quarterback play. And I like ours. No moments ever too big for him. He's obviously played in huge situations. Listen, we want to talk about it like being the quarterback for somebody like a Thomas Blackshear, like for like a Dupa Coleman, that's difficult sometimes because they're always open. You know what I'm saying? But the way that James carries himself, he's the testament of a leader. He's a guy that I don't care where we're going, I want him coming with me. That's a cheap touchdown too. That's a passing touchdown to Sean. I mess with him all the time. Our jet sweeps are passes, so he gets a cheap one there. But listen, James he's just calm, cool, collective. I'm able to get on him hard. I coach the quarterback position hard. Our system. You have to be a intelligent player to play quarterback for me. It's just facts. We run a college system.
That's your background.
It is what we do. If you want to be college prepared and you come to Calvary and play quarterback, and James is going to be college ready just because of the scheme we run. It has a lot of layers, and it's all on him. There's some checks and things like that people don't really see. He makes them. It's just we practice it. He sees it. He does it.
We talk about the relationship earlier in the year between Jake Merkler and James Mobley because James, he was that little freshman coming in underneath Jake. What, now that he is an upperclassman, do you see any similarities? Because size-wise, style-wise, righty versus lefty, they do things differently. But do you see any mental side of the game that is the same?
Yeah, absolutely. They're both competitors, super competitive, but just in different ways. Jake is very similar to me. We're energetic and high level, and sometimes you could almost consider hot-headed some. James, man, he's just so cool. James calms me down, I think, sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And it's just because he's always so cool, and it's if you met his family, it's his upbringing, man. It's his dad could take credit for, his mom could take credit for. He's got a great upbringing. He has a great support system. One thing you're going to know about Savannah is this city, as big it is as small it is, and some of these, especially when you go to the River Boys and the West Side Whippers and these younger youth organizations, they love each other, man. They care about these kids, and like they don't forget you once you go to high school. So like his village is so high, and so many people had kind of like a hand in molding him.
Yeah. Well, something else that you focused on for this round 2 game against Kings Ridge, you said fine-tooth comb through special teams.
Oh, yeah.
All 3 facets of the game on Friday you could have won with. But special teams, off the top of my head, you have a kick return touchdown, a couple block field goals. Yep. What about that with Coach Montague and Coach Cheatham, who've really kind of tag teamed that?
See, it's awesome, our staff. We were, Coach Myros actually devised he schemes up the kick block, off the field goal, because that's like a defensive thing. And we're doing it, and Coach Stewart kind of comes flying in and is like, hey, that's the block side, that's the scoop and score side. And the kids, it was like a light bulb went off. Like, you're not on the block side, doesn't mean you just stand there. So what do? Emerson comes off the edge, blocks it. Scotty's sitting there ready to scoop it. Boom, and he gets the touchdown. It's our staff, man. They're so unselfish. They're just like the kids. And again, it doesn't matter who gets credit. You know what I'm saying? It's Coach Montague, Coach Cheatham don't get their feelings hurt because Coach Stewart swoops in there at that point, man. It's just as anything that can make our team better. That's what these coaches are willing to do. And the attention to detail that we put on the special teams this past week was huge. It wins you games. I think the onside kick is the turning point of the game. I know it happened early, but it's like we took the wind out of their sails with that. We scored, bam, we onside kick, we get the ball back, next play touchdown. That's demoralizing. So it's huge it's part of what we do. If we see it, we're going to do it. And, again, we did a great job preparing for it.
It was a 56-17 win over the Kings Ridge Tigers in round 2 of the GHSA Private State Football Championships. And the Calvary Coaches Show for round 3 rolls on. Coming up after the break, it's offensive line coach Cam Brown. He joins us next.
We on to the next one.
Welcome back inside the Calvary Coaches Show. Our elbows have a little less room these days. Coach Cam Brown joins Jason Cameron and I here on the Calvary Coaches Show. The offensive line coach for the Cavaliers, who is helping lead a unit that is really senior-led, one of the oldest position groups on the team. Coach, this is your first year full-on leading the offensive line. Now, nearing the end of the postseason, what's it meant? What's it been like?
It's been a tremendous journey, just getting these guys, their mindset right and their mentality, try to get them on the same level as me, and just understanding where I'm coming from and how much I love them, how much I care about them, and just getting us to be very productive on the field, and just really just focusing on the fundamentals of offensive line play, which is number one, being physical and being tough and just being relentless.
You as a coach, very relationship driven. It's about trusting the people around you. That position where it is individual, you are one of 11, but as a unit, you need to be working together. How do you think your morals and lessons lean into the actual offensive line side of football?
Most definitely. Our football team is built on trust, like Coach Cam said. I trust these guys to do everything the right way, and sometimes they don't do it the right way, and we get it fixed. And they're very consistent and they're very efficient on trying to do the things the right way. And as a coach, that's all you can ask for. Is I got guys that are willing to do whatever it takes to help their teammates shine. Because the offensive line, you get nothing. You get nothing. So, like, when I called the middle school games, I'll make sure to call the offensive lineman out, because I understand, like, playing offensive line, you don't get any glory. And those guys are so selfless, and so they're a great group to work with. And I'm just so happy to work with those seniors, and I'm proud of what they're doing.
Coach Cameron, kind of handing over your oldest group of players to one of your youngest coaches, how have you seen them interact and work with one another?
Oh, it's great. You know, you said it. He's relationship driven, so it's they'll run through a wall for him. I always say this: like, kids want discipline, kids want to be coached hard, but you can't do it if you don't have a relationship with them. So, you know, Coach does a great job. The best thing that Coach does is, you know, he's involved in our middle school. He's a middle school teacher. He's a great teacher in the classroom first, and so he's developing relationships from 6th grade, lower than that, all the way up until 12th grade. So it kind of bleeds over. I think what we've done with our young, as much as how important obviously our older offensive line is, because we're preparing for playoff time, we've treated these practices like bowl practice. So we are pouring into our young offensive linemen, because we keep telling them May 1st is around the corner. So they're preparing for spring football. So when we're in a defensive period, Coach is drilling those young guys, because he keeps telling them, hey, what'd you say? Senior-led position, right? Yeah. So again, they're 4 months, 5 months away from, heck, being starters or potential starters. So that's something that we've done with our playoffs. You know, I'm prideful of that, because we don't just throw our young kids to the side. You know, he is drilling those young kids and trying to make them better and trying to make them tough and trying to build those relationships with them, because they're 5 months away from, you know, repping Calvary on a Friday night.
Well, Coach Cam, then back to you. What about drilling the young kids? Does it kind of put a little fire in the older kids? Do you think it's like, okay, we don't need to be as strong on you? It's an example thing.
the older kids set example for the young kids, and the young kids look up to the older kids. Like Jacob Fowler looks up to Carson Dean, looks up to Swindell, looks up to Bryson Terry, and the young kids have really taken a huge leap these past 3 weeks, and I'm so proud of them. They gotten tougher, which toughness is number one in offensive line play, and I think the older guys have just gotten even better. And sometimes I can just, hey, older guys, you do this, this, and this. You do Dante's drills, and they're actually coaching the young guys like me. And that's just a blessing to see that I have players on the field, and they can just orchestrate the practice for me. And they also are very, very people can look up to them.
Well, for a senior-led offensive line this season, helping lead the Cavaliers to north of 45 points per game, just over 1,800 rush yards, just under 7 yards a carry. What gets you fired up? When you hear some of those numbers that you know that maybe the recognition's not there, but it starts with the offensive line, what gets you fired up when you hear that?
Any great football team has to be able to run the ball. And that's what I take pride in as an offensive line coach, and that's what my kids take pride in. Like, we have to run the ball, and Coach Campbell's done a great job of just really pushing those guys the whole season, ever since the spring. That was a big question mark going into the season, and it's not a question mark anymore. We rely on those guys. Those are the leaders of our team, and they've been really, really great.
Yeah. Coach, this could be your last time on the Coaches Show in 2025. I got to ask you, what do you think you've learned the most this season?
I've learned the most from Coach Cam is just how to lead a team in the right way. Don't be too high, don't be too low. Don't be overly emotional. Stay in the moment and trust your guys. Mm-hmm. If you practice it, you trust it, you do it on Friday night. And it's starting in the summer. Like, I was a guy who was very overly emotional, yelling and screaming, but now I can teach better, and it's because of him. He's taught me a lot of lessons. He's put me in great situations where I can lead my kids in a better way.
Coach Cameron, what do you think is your favorite part when you get to a Friday involving him? What does he do on a game day that makes your job a little easier and maybe mellows you out a little bit?
Well, it's the preparation going into it. You know what I'm saying? We talked about, I think it's like a Derek Jeter quote of some sort, that he was never nervous on a game day because of the way he prepared. You know what I'm saying? So the preparation that he puts in Sunday through Thursday, we're prepared for Friday. We get to that TV. He has the wealth of knowledge to make adjustments on the fly, and he does a great job with that. Gives me a little heads up over the the headset of what we need to do, what he sees out there. I trust those guys. Him with Coach Stewart up top, they do a great job of adjusting. So again, he's a future head coach, you know what I'm saying? And he coaches a position where that's usually your first hire. So the guy, you say sky's the limit for our kids. Sky's the limit for this guy. He's a future head coach. He's a future state championship winner.
All right, let's talk little ball. Last Friday, your offensive line pass protected well for James. You're hoping to get some more success on Friday. How are you liking the way your offensive line is playing, if you could break it down?
I really like it. We take pride in keeping James upright. I don't want to see him hurt. I don't want to see him touched at all. And I really haven't seen that since Oceanside game, so I'm very proud of them for that. They've come together. They've really bought in to the scheme, the coaching staff, and just being coached really, really hard. I'm super proud of them. We got to be able to run the ball first, in my opinion, and then we can get anything we want in the passing game. Yeah. We can get.
I'm sure you like to pass a little bit. One of that first plays is always a pass play.
Yeah. Nah, he does a great job, and like you said, I just be a sponge. I learn from him, but the offensive line, the whole group from top to bottom, senior to freshman, I'm super, super proud of him.
All right. Appreciate you being on the Coaches Show as always, and enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you on Friday. The Calvary Coaches Show, it rolls on this Wednesday, November 26th. Coming up after the break, one of the newest senior traditions for the Cavaliers. We highlight it next.
Let's set a tone right now. As long as you know the person beside you, behind you, these coaches in front of you, everybody's got your back. Hey, stop doing it first. Figure out everyone to Everything that's self-absorbed, everything that's about you, put it to the side. Don't take nothing for granted. And sacrifice everything you got for this football team.
Senior night, man. Hey, you know we had to take one home for the seniors. Good game tonight. Family on me, family on three. 1, 2, 3. Family. Another day of day school, baby. 1-0 every week. Let's go.
Welcome back inside the Calvary Coaches Show, live from Trailer Park Pizza Party on Habersham Street with the head football coach of the Cavaliers, Jason Cameron. I am Jeffrey Roberts. The Cavaliers, they are preparing for a round 3 matchup against Whitefield Academy on Friday. But before we preview the Wolfpack, Coach, a new tradition for Calvary football this season, my impact, your jersey. It's something that you wanted to bring to 63rd and Waters, and it went over very well.
Yeah, it's huge. You know, our teachers, man, they, you know, I'm a teacher. My wife is a teacher. Heck, my whole family is filled with teachers. You know, my brother Brian in New Jersey is an administrator. So it's something that it's a tough job. You know what I'm saying? So, and as a football team, we just want to show them truly how impactful they are to our guys. You know what I'm saying? So my jersey, your impact is our way of just saying, like, you've been so influential in some of our kids' lives. It is unscripted with some of those guys. What they said, I told them, think about it, be intentional with it, come from your heart. Listen, I've done this other schools where we've had the toughest kid on the team boohoo crying over it because, you know, there are some people at Calvary. Think about the amount of time we spend at Calvary. You know what I'm saying? Think about the amount of time that you spend with kids other than your own. You know what I'm saying? I'm the perfect example of it. So we are so impactful with these kids, and I loved some of the teachers' reactions because they were so surprised by it. You know what I'm saying? And they were just like, they couldn't get over it. And it's just a nice little way of saying thank you.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at it. Here is my jersey, your impact.
Hey, Miss P.
Here for a second.
What's up, Coach Smith?
What's up, man?
Coach Tripp, this is for you.
Mr. Bergevin. Yes. I got something for you.
So this is my jersey, your impact.
What?
And I want to thank you for getting me through 8th grade, sophomore year, everything.
Oh, give me a hug.
This is my jersey, your impact. And throughout my 4 years at Calvary, I've really appreciated you being here. And I know when I got injured, you were always asking me what I was doing and how I was going with soccer and everything, always asking about the season and with football too, and it really means a lot to me. So I wanted to give you this plaque, I wanted to give you this jersey.
Appreciate that so much.
Yes, ma'am.
When you came to Calvary, I was in a low spot. I was about to leave, and you really what kept me at Calvary, Coach. And I think this is probably one of the best decisions I've ever made staying at Calvary. He pushed me to my limit on the field, and that's really why I appreciate you, and I feel like this is the right award for you, Coach.
You've had the biggest impact on me, whether it's football, whether it's bringing me closer to God, just always bringing us together as a group.
Yeah.
When my head's not right, just telling me get it right and what to do when I'm messing up. So I just want to thank you.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
I just want to thank you for when you helped me when I was struggling academically the past 2 years.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, that really touches me, guys. Thank you.
This is my jersey, your impact. I just want to say thank you for having me 9th grade algebra year and last year computer program. You're always putting up with me. Always staying as happy as you can no matter what happened. Being a leader, showing me how to do that. Just want to say thank you.
I just want to thank you for always being there for me, training me. Just want me to stay on the right track and do the right thing. I just want to thank you for that.
Always, man.
Helped me a lot with my religion over these 4 years. Really helped me with my faith. And I appreciate it.
This is one of the nicest things I've ever been given. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm going to put it in my office.
Appreciate it.
Love you.
Love you, Miss P.
Love you, bro.
Love, Coach.
Peace.
Thank you.
Well, Coach, one of my favorite parts about that video is, and we didn't put every single one in there, but a lot of the teachers at the end, they say, love you. I love you.
Oh, yeah.
That's intentional relationships at Calvary.
That's what you get. Dr. Chadwick has set the tone, and the rest of our administration about that's what Calvary. When you walk into Calvary hallways, it's love, it's intentional relationships. We're relationship driven. And it was hard for the kids. We picked those teachers, but it's just like, some of them kind of went back and forth. They didn't know how to pick because they had multiple, you know what I'm saying? So once again, it was just our little way of saying thank you and just showing our teachers, sometimes, kids don't always do the best way of showing it, but they are truly, truly, truly impactful on these kids.
Yeah, well, we were talking that for next year, 20-plus seniors, we may have a few different versions of that.
Yeah, we might have to do it in a few days. It might not be a 30, 40-minute thing.
That's a next fall problem.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. But, hey, this Friday, Whitefield Academy, the Wolfpack, are coming to 63rd and Waters for a GHSA quarterfinal matchup between the Cavaliers and Wolfpack. Coach, an RPO team, that is something that you guys are circling. Can you talk about their offense? It was the triple option last week. What are you scratching your heads with this week?
Really multiple. I think personnel groupings is what they do the best. They change a lot of personnel groupings with, some heavy package and spread packages. They could be an empty in one period and then have 3 tight ends on the field in the next play. So, it's a lot of prep work. We practiced a long time these last 3 days, longer than usual. A lot of prep work, especially defensively. So, really good team. I think they've taken the identity of their coach, Coach Walsh, as a high energy guy, tough, and that's the way they play football. Both sides of the football, they are tough, they are physical, and they're energetic.
This is a team that is the number 5 overall seed in the state private bracket. They beat Aquinas 48-21 last Friday after earning a first-round bye, just like the Cavs. A little tie close to home. Now, Coach, this is a completely different team. We talked about it. Whitefield Academy did play Savannah Christian in week 1 of the season. They lost 38-28. Then they went on to win 8 straight games. They positioned themselves for a top 8 seed in the state. They're firing on all cylinders right now, Coach. Defensively, what are you seeing from them?
Well, just improvement. You watch the Savannah Christian film, and then you watch, the Aquinas film, you watch the fellowship film, and how much they've improved throughout the season. You know what I'm saying? They are not the same team. You could take that game and throw it away just because they've improved so much throughout the season. And as a coach, that's what you want. I think we've improved since Oceanside. So it's a team that is really good defensively. They give you a lot of different looks. They could cover on the perimeter. They show some 2 high, some single high, 3-3 stack. They're kind of a little bit everywhere, man. And they're just really, really well coached. Wherever they align, they are very schematically correct. So again, we're gonna have to play a really good football team. This team's coming to Savannah ready for a game.
Well, if you make your way to the SSC, some names you may be hearing: Mason Hollingsworth, a running back for the Wolfpack, just 17 yards shy of 2,000 yards. If all things go to their plan, he will be north of that. Then the QB position, Landon Ryan, he's played all 11 games. He completes the ball at a high percentage at 64, just sub of 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns. Just some names that you'll be hearing if you come to the SSC. But now I want to go back to Calvary. This team's got some dudes too. James specifically, how is he going to be reading the defense? How are you preparing him?
Oh, the game plan goes through him. It always does, and he's got to just do a good job of taking what they give us. And, what I'm saying, we got to definitely, Cam Brown said it the best. Championship teams need to establish the run. I think we got to run the ball a little bit better than we have. I think we've done a good job these past week about preparation for that. So, again, the game plan is the game plan. We're going to take what they give us and, hopefully be successful with it.
It's a 7 p.m. kick on Friday from the SSC between the Cavaliers and Wolfpack. If you're making your way to 63rd and Waters, be there a little early. It's a 6 p.m. Cav walk through the athletics parking lot, so be sure to get there early and cheer loud for the purple and gold. Coach, I got to ask you, a lot of uniform combinations. Have you picked what this team is wearing on Friday?
I don't get caught up in all that stuff. It's crazy that amount we have, and I like this team. Last year's team, heck, all they ever wanted to wear was black on black. That's it. It was
Which is clean.
Yeah, it's a great look. But this team loves to wear different stuff, and I will come out. I think it's black, purple, black. I think it is. I'm not sure.
But hey, they're gonna look good doing it. Be there and be loud for the Cavaliers on Friday. The winner moves on to the state semifinals. For the head football coach of the Cavaliers, Jason Cameron, I am Jeffrey Roberts. We'll see you back here at Trailer Park Pizza Party next week.